Well, Dr. Matt,
What?
hello. Good evening.
What is up? What is up?
How are you?
Doing pretty good
Yeah,
overall. Yeah.
good. Yeah, streaming from the cell that you're in. Um,
My bedroom. Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah,
have a roommate for a little while here
we've
because of
had an
the
interesting turn of
fires.
events. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should probably talk about that for a minute. Obviously, you're
Yeah.
back in your home. I'm back in my home.
Yeah.
We both left during that
Hmm.
episode. And for those that don't know, that yes, there were some wildfires in the Boulder County area. So
Hmm.
Dr.
Yep.
Matt and I both have houses that were probably within about a mile of where the last evac line laid, and
Hmm.
it got pretty crazy.
Hmm.
Um, Pretty
Yeah.
wild stuff. Yeah, it's I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we're okay. Lots of people are
Or,
not.
yeah.
They're homeless, literally, and you have one of them
Hmm.
housed up with you right now. So you're
Yep.
broadcasting from your bedroom.
Yep. My office is my second bedroom, and yeah,
Mhm.
that's being used right now, which is great. I'm really, I mean, I'm happy I had a spot someone could land, temporarily. So
Yeah, it's good that you're
I can't really,
helping somebody out.
it's the best way I can give back right now. Cause yeah, I've never, I mean, man, we dealt with that flood in Boulder in 2013, but
Yeah,
this was, that was like 4 days of just constant stuff. This was like 4 hours, where it just exploded. So, yeah.
yeah, that's I'm gonna put this up here.
Mhm.
If you guys have been following me on IG, I think I posted one of these, but this is like the neighborhood right next to us.
Mhm.
Taken from our friend's neighbor. We were I was already driving the kids down to Denver at this point, but
Mhm.
that is the
Yeah.
situation. You can see how I mean, this is the end of December in Colorado, guys.
That's
Dry. There's not an
yeah.
ounce we had not seen an ounce of snow yet since April.
Mm-mm.
April of
Yep.
this year was the last snowfall we had.
Mhm.
And I'm not talking about the mountains, I'm talking about the Front Range, but right here, which we
Yeah.
back up to the foothills, there is nothing here. It's
Yeah.
dry as you can get.
Yeah.
And I knew it was coming, you know. It's only a matter of
Mhm.
time when we get that bad. We're breaking records for
Yeah.
conditions. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that I know that are not, but a lot of people that I know that lucked out. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a long time to
mhm.
rebuild, and I don't know. Yeah. It's we're still.
Wild.
I think everyone's still kind of digesting it. Like,
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
whoa, what's happening?
for sure. Yeah, it's insane. I mean, the command center that's been set up for all of this is
Oh,
right
it's
across the
across the
street.
street. Yeah, from
Mhm.
you. Yeah, I saw that.
So we've got everybody across the country that is going to do some sort of, work in some level on the front side. I just put out a video the other day about next steps for people that don't have houses.
Mhm.
And not just people that had their houses burned to the ground, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of smoke damage. There's a lot of
Lots
structural
of it.
damage. Fact,
Mhm.
a couple of my projects were put on pause because we were sitting on inspections. We're waiting on inspections to happen, and
Right.
we were pushed back a week because they sent out all the Boulder County inspectors to all the
Sure, sure.
unincorporated areas to
So they
assess.
to make sure.
Yep, in
What?
all the towns.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, they were put on
Yeah.
blast for that, and um, those
Mhm.
guys are getting closer to wrapping up. And now we have that command center with
Mhm.
adjusters set up, and
FEMA and all that.
FEMA and
Yeah.
all that's here.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're all here. So yeah, just
Mhm.
if people are listening, if you do have things that you can donate, stuff, clothes, food. Um, I mean, my
Money.
kids are putting together money. My kids are putting
Mhm.
together some stuff that, stuffed animals, toys, things that
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
kids lost them if they're gone.
It's gone.
Blankets, whatever. We're putting together some stuff to bring over
Yep.
to a donation site. So, um,
Cool. Yep.
Yeah, do what you
Yeah.
can for sure. I've had a lot of people reach out to me about getting on my list to rebuild.
Yeah.
And I've ventured out of that world a while ago, but I, I've got to take a stand on what I'm going to do and how I'm going to help.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Yeah, I imagine you're looking at all that, seeing if that's gonna work for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's
we're
gonna be
we're
so
assessing
much.
all of it.
It's gonna be just, I mean, 1,000 homes.
Yeah, it's going to be more. I mean, these are the ones that
Yeah,
burn
right,
down. By the
right.
time all the assessments are done, all the structural assessments are done.
Totally.
Fire
Yeah,
restoration contractors get through stuff. Claims
yeah.
adjusters, it's gonna
Right.
be I mean, my estimate is probably 1,500 to 2,000 homes probably. So, it's gonna
You
be
think
nuts.
it's gonna double. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well,
Yeah.
man.
Yep. So, that was our last week.
Yeah, that's the end of 2021 for
That's how 2021
Boulder
wrapped up.
Boulder County. Yeah,
Mhm.
fleeing a fire and having our neighbors lose their homes.
In the
So,
middle well, in the
and
beginning of
then
the winter, and it's
yep,
winter time here. It's not
yep,
summer.
no,
So,
yep. And then a huge, big snowstorm dumped, and now it's dumping again today. So it's
it's
like,
snowing again and for second time
mhm,
in a week. So, I mean, I think we're gonna get into a cycle here, which is good. I mean, this is what it needs to be
mhm.
doing now.
Right, right.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So,
Thanks everybody for whatever you can do.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, do what you can. I mean, like Dr. Matt said, money is certainly another way and certainly important. I have a feeling a lot of these people are going to be short um on their insurance claim because
Yeah,
they're um
yeah, that's true. There's a lot of
yeah,
weird stuff. There's a lot of stuff with that. Yeah.
I just people don't care enough for replacement costs in general, and a lot of agents just don't know what the cost of build is, especially
Right.
region to region, and they're going to be short, so they're going to need money. They're going to need help. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and a lot of people, their insurance plans don't take into account, um, like, how does it yeah, like, this doesn't take everything into account. Like, it's people have been paying on these policies that it's it's like a fraction of what, you
Yeah,
know, it's crazy.
it's not. It's really going to be. It's going to be even more heartbreaking to kind of watch that all
Mm,
unfold. And now there's going to be some money. I mean, FEMA
mhm,
donates to these incidents. However,
mhm,
it's never enough. It's never
mhm.
allocated in a timely manner.
Right,
It's a hot
right,
mess all the time.
right, right.
I'm not trying to bag on FEMA, but I've watched it over and over with different things. And even here,
Totally.
2013, I watched it and it was a
Yeah,
disaster. It was an utter disaster trying to work with these people and with
yeah.
FEMA. And
It's just
it's,
so much bureaucracy and red tape.
yeah. And there's
Mm,
just the money that comes in, what's deemed allocated ends up going to somebody else's pocket. And I'm not trying to be political. It literally does. And it's really sad to watch how that works out.
mhm.
And then the counties and the cities can't, they don't know how
Right.
to allocate it correctly. And I mean, they're not set up that way. So it's
Yeah.
always a mess. Um, what,
Mm,
but in saying that, I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about. That stuff is the importance of, and the reason I'm having this topic or what it popped up in my head for doing this live stream with this topic was dealing with, I got a lot of things going on right now in different webs and dealing with different people and different instances and
right. There's a lot
every
right now. Yeah.
yeah, and every time I get into a business venture of some sort, everyone says, "All right, well, Shane, tell me what to do." It doesn't matter what it is, and it's always like, why am I the one that like is told, "Hey, man, just
Mhm,
delegate to me, how do I do
mhm,
this?"
mhm,
And this is another example of,
mm,
you're most people are in the insurance business, they're
mhm.
homeowners and they don't know
Right.
what they really should have. And asking your agent is obviously a start and that they're the
Mhm.
expert, but a lot of times they miss out on details that are going to come
Yeah.
and they're going to catch people with their pants down. So,
Mhm.
um, learning
Yeah.
learning things and educating yourself and gaining knowledge in things that are not part of your forte. It's not
Yeah.
like being a jack of all trades really means you're just opening your mind to all the different things that come into your life, and
Mhm.
they're all tools to help you just stay ahead of whatever could or possibly happen. It certainly helps you in gaining wealth. It certainly helps you in
Mhm.
staying healthy and getting healthier and
Absolutely.
managing your body. All of these things.
Yeah.
You're not a doctor. You're not a medical practitioner. Most of us, but
Mhm.
we can learn from those people and gain
Right.
knowledge and understand
Right.
how to get better at
Yeah.
these things. And that's how you
Yeah.
grow in these worlds.
Totally. Yeah, I think it's interesting, especially in the medical world, and we've seen it really strongly, this last couple of years, but I've seen it, we've really deified and placed up on a pedestal, uh, doctors. And
Hmm.
and and that's okay, like there's certain doctors are absolutely amazing and have a great deal of skill and knowledge, and that's fine, but it's interesting to me that level of uh what when we put people at that level, it it can take away our responsibility a lot of
Hmm.
times, and we just defer it right onto them. And I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to experts. I mean, obviously we need to learn and listen and grow because we don't know what those people know. But it's just been interesting to me in the medical world how on the flip side of that is even how they downplay other people. Like,
Hmm.
oh, I mean, and I'll use myself, I mean, as a naturopathic doctor. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, or you're just a mom, or oh, you're just a home builder. Like what?
Right.
Like who are you to say
Who are
that?
you? Hmm.
And it's not that you're claiming expertise per se, but it just this sort of fact that you can't be at some level educated enough um, to really,
Go crazy, go stupid. Welcome.
yeah. Thanks for
That's kind of
jumping
how
on.
I feel.
Yeah, so anyway, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I think we do need to be learning or just,
Hmm.
engaging is even simpler, just like don't just give up to someone else to tell you things.
Yep.
And it's challenging. It's hard to know who to trust and you know, what's good,
Yeah.
valid sometimes. And so that's why it's nice to have other people to bounce stuff around on. But yeah,
Yeah, and there's nothing to say that you can't gain a general knowledge of different things. Like I mean,
totally.
when I'm building a home for somebody, I want them to participate in some way to gain knowledge
Hmm.
of things to come
Yeah,
because they're not only going to be a homeowner at some point, they're also going to end up having to have home maintenance at some point. Whether it's
totally.
just uh, seasonal maintenance for furnace, irrigation
Hmm.
systems, whatever. But it's also understanding if they want to add a faucet or change something out at some point.
Right.
It's all very important, and learning some of those, even just the simple DIY stuff is crucial
Yeah,
to home ownership, as many people
absolutely.
have understood, and same thing with your help. So um yeah, stay tuned, you will, don't worry. We're just discussing the Marshall Fire and
Yeah.
really the importance of so many people that don't understand what their insurance situation is going to end up being, and it's going to be kind of scary to watch, kind of the build up with that, and how that's going to all work out. So now is the time for those that are paying attention. If you don't have to worry about your insurance, your homeowner's policy, now is the time to start asking more questions and go get that knowledge and start figuring out what all these things mean, what a
Mhm.
replacement cost is. um,
Mhm. Yeah.
how much should you carry? Don't ever go cheap on your insurance, right? What up, Yee? Um,
Yee.
don't
Yeah.
don't ever go don't ever go so insurance is really simple. You always pay too much for it when you don't need it, and you never have enough of it when you do, right?
Mhm. Yep.
But the whole point of insurance is to make sure that you never have to use it,
Right.
um,
Yeah, man,
but you
it's
want to have that coverage.
such an interesting world of that, isn't it? But yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you said there. I mean, these are just great opportunities to expand something that you may not know, right? Even if you're
Mhm.
renting, like if you're
Right.
renting,
Same thing.
you better go out and learn about your rental insurance
Mhm.
policy,
Yep.
like, what does that uncover? What does that entail, you know?
Right.
I mean, yeah, you don't own your house or your apartment or whatever, but, you know, your bed and your computer and your I mean, all that stuff, is covered by that if you don't, so, you know, pay attention.
Yep. And so, yeah, I mean, Yi's a good example of the same kind of things. He's a, he comes from a military background and he's
Mm,
got knowledge and all of this, other things. But now he's moving into real estate, which is a great way to go. And he's ready to
mhm,
get his license. And hang in there, man, because those tests are not easy.
mhm.
Actually, Colorado, where we are, is top 3 in the country as far as most difficult tests to pass the first time. You just gotta to hang with it. And
Mhm,
if you don't pass the first time, you don't get frustrated. Just go out and reach out to people that have done it. There's
mhm.
knowledge on the internet. Obviously, you can go get that stuff, and it just keep it. So it's all right, man. I know people that took it 10 times. Trust me,
Yeah,
you'll
yeah,
get it. Learning how to
yeah,
take a test is more important. That's the stuff that's in it. I guarantee
totally.
you, once you
Exactly.
take it, you'll be just fine. It's It's understanding how to take the test that's more important. You'll get your
Yeah,
license and you'll realize that
yeah,
you're gonna be just fine as a broker, as an agent, and you'll
right.
learn very quickly, but getting past that test is hard. So you
Yeah.
just gotta it's more about it's just like with the general contractor test. That's why I do these
Mhm,
videos on that. It's the same thing. It's
mhm,
a matter of learning how to take the test and what they're actually looking for. It's not about what you know it all. It's about how to take the
mhm.
test. So that goes a long way.
Yeah,
A pre-test is just a practice test. Go crazy. Um, so he's just
yeah,
studying
for that
for his real
exam.
estate exam.
Mhm,
Yeah, to get his license.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah. But that's I
yeah,
mean, all of it is based on I mean, it's so important to just go out and force yourself to get knowledge. I think as humans, we're inherently lazy
mhm.
and we have so much information that can be found literally within seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Just by using all the
I know,
search engines and YouTube and everything, like, you
I
can just
know.
type in a subject, and within seconds, you'll
Yep.
have you'll have the topic you're looking for. It
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean it's correct, but at
Mhm.
least it can most things out there can guide you in the right direction.
Totally.
But gaining
Yeah.
knowledge through those kinds of things, like, and but so that's why I got frustrated the other day because I was kind of one of those things like, well, I'm not the, fill in the blank, Shane. I need you to
Mhm.
do that, or you need to do that. And I got to the point, I'm like, there was a time in my life where I didn't have any of this knowledge. I didn't
Right.
have any of these licenses. I didn't have any of this crap at
Mhm.
all.
Yeah.
What's to say that you can't go out and do that, or why won't you go
Mhm.
out and do that? And so, as business partners go, and you run businesses or take ventures on, Dr.
Yeah.
Matt's been there too. It's like I don't have to be the expert of everything because then what's the point of, you know, these
Yep.
partnerships?
Right.
I've
Yeah,
gotten all that
totally.
done. You have to.
Totally. Yeah, yeah, and you start getting into, yeah, interpersonal dynamics, crazy stuff with people, but yeah,
Yeah.
to your point, I mean, I think we have an opportunity in the world that we've never really had before of having available, I mean, you can get on, if I wanted to learn how to, I don't know, change the automatic transmission in my car, I could probably learn how to do that,
Mhm.
on YouTube
Right.
for free.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't mean I necessarily could do it, but I could learn how to do it, and then I could talk to somebody and maybe get some tools and maybe I don't you know what I mean? It's
Yep.
we've never had the ability to have access to this kind of stuff. So,
Mhm.
and we do now, and it's pretty cool. But you have to, like you said, really you got to take it on. You can't just,
Yeah. You
you
gotta
know,
take it on. And you have to
mhm,
accept the fact that you can learn more. I mean, what you have to this point in your life of
mhm,
knowledge, you had at one point none of it.
mm,
And you've
totally.
gone to the point where you've
Yeah,
learned these things and you've gotten
right,
efficient at certain things, whatever your skill
right,
sets are, whatever you do. You could be a
right.
student, but you're learning things, your high school, college, whatever it is,
Mhm,
you're learning these things as you go along. You know,
Right.
you learn how to walk, you learn how to talk, you learn how to tie your shoes, you learn how to
Right.
go to the bathroom, right? Like all these things you have to. So
Yeah.
as life gets more complicated, you have more complicated things to learn at times.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes they're really not that
Yeah.
complicated at all. It's just a matter of putting your foot forward. So important to do
Totally.
it though, you
Yeah, you
know?
gotta step out and do it. Yeah, it is, it's interesting. I mean, yeah, I mean, for me right now, just learning some of the stuff around, like, the stock market and
Mhm.
some of that, I mean, it's like a whole other language, it's like a whole other system of words and acronyms
Yeah.
and
Tell
things
me what
that
all that is.
I don't even know what any of that is, you
Mhm.
know? I mean, and so, I mean, I'm not trying to learn it all overnight. I mean, that's what I've come to realize. The other thing is that, you have to be kind of kind to yourself too, and can't expect to be expert at stuff, but, keep asking questions, keep finding the people, connecting to the people that can, hopefully not just spoon feed it to you, can, push you to, learn more and expand yourself with it. But yeah, it takes a lot. It gets out of your comfort zone, things things that are easy for you.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, but we've gotten to the point where the things that are easier, the things that we've learned and gotten good
Mhm.
at, and
Of course.
there's
Yeah.
contentment there.
There's a reason that it's easy for you because 'cause you've
Exactly.
practiced it over. I mean, you're a good example on the ski slopes, right? Like, God, Shane's been skiing since he was, like, 2 years old, and so
Just out of diapers.
yeah, so, you put him on a ski slope, and it's like, you know, walking for him, it's like nothing, you know? I go out there and I'm like, "All right, I kinda remember how I'm doing this," and I get down and, I got better with practice, but,
Mhm.
it's it's not something I've done a lot as much as they did, right?
Right.
And anyway, so, we all have these skill sets, these things that we're practiced, that we're good at,
Mhm.
that we have just ingrained in our brain, in our muscle memory, but yeah, I think we are at a really cool point in time where we can really expand that.
Yeah, and I think in kinda talking about these things, we're watching a lot of people, and we have for the last, I would say, year or so especially, literally change their life through
Mhm.
what they're doing as a career, how they're
Totally.
making money.
Good point.
You know,
Yeah.
the people from the term Great Reset.
Mhm.
It's it's very interesting to watch people literally take. I mean, and people do this all the time. It's not like it's a new thing. They change careers all the time,
Mhm.
but they're adding skill sets. I know
Mhm.
people that are engineers that are now full time
Mhm.
investors. They've gotten into real estate. I know builders that have shut down their building practice. Their entire company shut down, and they're now into real estate and investing.
Mhm.
Um, and it's
Yeah.
one of those things where it it's 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 interesting to watch people because they make these comments like, "I don't know how to do that," but then they
Mhm.
make these huge steps into what they're going to do with their next career, and they literally have changed careers into something completely different. They didn't go to school for it.
Right.
It
It's
it
cool.
and it's
It's
really cool to watch, and
yeah.
it's just encouraging for other people to understand
Mhm.
it's just about putting the time in.
Mhm.
Um, that's all it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta put the time in, there has to be that desire, there has to be um yeah, the opportunity, not everybody has, certain opportunities don't often present right away, so, but yeah, you can make it if you
Yep.
want it, so
Yeah. It's there. I mean,
mhm,
I know people that are going back to school.
mhm,
Um, it depends on what it is, but I'm okay with that depending on what you're doing it
yeah,
for.
yeah,
I think there's a lot of things that you can learn how to do. I mean, there's certain careers you can flip flop in, and you don't need to go back to school for it. And I'm talking about
mhm,
going from like being a lawyer to a real estate agent, or a real estate
mhm,
agent to a contractor, or you
mhm,
know going into I know people that are going into coaching just to help other people. Like, listen, I've
Right.
gotten to this point in my life
Right.
and I've learned all these skills and now I want to go share them.
Mhm.
People are starting to make full-time podcasts as their
Mhm.
career to
Totally.
share wealth and information and just to bring in a media source for other people
Mhm.
to kind of collaborate with.
Yep.
There's a million things you can do now.
It's crazy,
Um,
isn't it? Yeah.
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 Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, like you said, you have to take the step out and do it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so vitally important. Look, I mean,
mhm.
he's gonna dude, you're it's all either you have test anxiety or you need to learn how they're delivering the test to you. I'm fully confident you know everything that you need to know to pass that test. But the next step in like accepting that you're
Mhm.
capable of growing is I can gain more knowledge
Mhm.
and I'm capable of I have room in my brain to insert more of this information. Like it's some people are like, I don't have any more room. You have room in your brain. Trust me. You can
Totally.
insert those things. It's just a matter of, I mean, I used to have test anxiety in college.
Yeah.
Certain classes, I would just, man, yes,
Yeah.
but that's the point. You either, that's what I'm saying. They're testing
It's
you on what you're
it's all,
doing.
all it's what all those tests are. I
Hmm.
don't care what it is. They don't really test your knowledge. They test how well you can take a test.
Yeah,
And
and now you've
that's
taken it a few times, so you know what they're
yeah.
you know the
Yeah.
structure. So now
Yeah, yeah.
you're ready for that too. I mean,
That's totally. Yeah.
have
You'll
faith, my
get
man.
you'll get it.
Yeah, have faith. Like I said, I know some really successful real estate agents here that literally took the test 10 damn times.
Is that
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. And as
that's
many as like
awesome.
they would max out on how many times they could take it each 6 months. So it took them over a year, a couple of these guys to pass. They
Yeah.
were making a buttload of money. It just they couldn't figure the test out.
Just couldn't take a test, yeah.
They started with practice tests and these
Uh-huh.
classes, and all this stuff, and they prepped forever. I taught them some stuff. I had to walk them through. At one point, we had the 6 column HUD settlement statement we had to learn in Colorado, which was pretty funny because most people aren't very good at math, and that wasn't our job. The closer took care of that stuff. The HUD was prepared by title, but we had to know how to
Yeah.
do it. We have to know how to read it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it went from 6 to I'm dating myself here. It went from 6 to 4 columns.
Uh-huh.
And it's just a matter of understanding debits and credits. But I came from a business management background from
So
college.
that
So
that was
I,
easy
I
for
understood
you, yeah.
accounting.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
most of them, that was the part they got stuck on. And it was like a
Sure.
big chunk of the state portion of the test.
They just
And they
happened
just
to have
kept
that.
bombing it. They just had, yeah, they just couldn't do it.
So
And it was just
stupid.
like, yeah, like debits and credits. And they just couldn't, like their brain just didn't, their synapses weren't firing
Mhm.
on that level. Like, I don't get it. I'm like, you literally just, here's $5, put it in your bank account. All right, now you got to go pay this guy too.
What's left, right?
What's left? Yeah. So just put that. Where does this go? I understand that. I understand that. Where does it go? Well, it's a
Right,
debit.
right, right, right.
You have to,
I
but it has
know.
to
Oh
balance
my
at the end.
god.
It was so funny. But they learned it. The bottom line is they finally learned it and then
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
on and figured out their careers. And these are guys that are coming from
Yeah.
other things too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so
That's
imperative.
you passed it on the
Yeah.
first time. You passed on the first try, didn't you?
Nope.
Yeah.
I went in not even bothering to study a damn thing. People were telling me, "Oh, the test is not what you think." I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad was a real estate developer. I mean, my whole life. I mean, I was in the business and I understood.
Mhm.
I mean, I went. Obviously, we have to take our classes, and you learn a lot of the legality and contracts and all that stuff. But I just thought I could wing it, and that didn't work out so well. I literally, um, if I remember the first time, and this is for you to listen to, the first time you need a 75 to pass, and I got a 73 or 72 or something like that. And they,
Right.
it's computerized, so they can give you
Right.
the information pretty.
Cool.
So you go out there in the lobby and you just wait, and then
Right.
they call your name up, and they're like, "Okay, Mr. Bailey, you got this," and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
really?"
One question away. Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
the next time I go in, it's a snowstorm
Mhm.
and I don't have my calculator with me. I like got halfway out. It was an early morning test and I'm driving out
Mhm.
and it's this blizzard and I'm
Uh-huh.
trying to get, I left super early knowing the traffic was going to be horrible and the whole thing. and I'm like, I called on the
Your
way in,
calculator.
you know, to make sure it was open. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we're open. You're for your test." And this is like you're paying $75 a pop or $100 a
Right,
pop, right? So it's like
right,
this is
right.
my second time in. I pull into the parking lot. I'm like, shit. I don't have my calculator. There's so I'm doing all the math on a sheet of paper
Yeah.
because they let you use a calculator, and I'm just like,
And
I'm doing all the
you didn't have a phone at the time with the calculator on it.
mm-mm. Well, they wouldn't
Yeah,
let you bring a phone in anyway.
right, but
But I was like, I'm doing it
yeah,
all on and so
uh-huh.
as I'm getting to the end, 'cause I took my time on the universal portion, went back, checked all my answers, then started the state portion, which was probably a mistake. Got about halfway through, I was looking at the clock, like, I think I'm gonna run out of time. So I just started doing all the math in my head. Needless to say, I walked out and I got a 72%.
Didn't quite
And I'm
get
like, "God
it.
damn it. I can't pass this test. I shouldn't be having these problems."
Right,
So I went super prepared for the third time, you know, and I
yeah,
can't remember what the max anyway. So third time I passed it. Took it three
yeah,
times. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's just what a
It's
weird way we assess things. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, obviously we gotta if you're gonna license somebody, we need to, you know,
yeah.
somehow
Oh, yeah,
congruently test people. But
yeah. No, I had 2 sets of board exams, and the second one was, like, 4 days, 3 days long.
mhm,
Yeah, it's crazy. All
yeah.
kinds of stuff. That was a fun day.
But
Weekend.
look at you. Look at how far
Totally.
you've come, right?
It's
You
true.
had none of that. You were a swimmer in high school.
Yeah.
Actually, Dr. Matt was top 10 of his high school graduating class. So you weren't
Was
stupid.
I?
Mhm.
Did I make the top 10? Yeah,
Mhm. I
I
do.
don't
I
remember.
remember. I do
Yeah,
remember
okay.
that.
Alright.
You were just a little skinny swimmer, and
Yep.
now and then look where you got.
Yep.
Look at all the skills you've learned.
Well
Look at the
well, I
skills you've learned in the last year and a half.
oh, yeah, for sure. No, I'm actually, and I don't mean this to, like, brag, but I'm actually, like, a pretty good test taker. I don't know, I understand generally testing, so
Mhm.
I end up, doing okay on tests, not necessarily because I know anything, but because I can actually know how to take tests well compared to some
And
people. I
and
don't know.
that's a skill. That's a skill in
Yeah,
itself.
no, it
Trust
totally
me.
was. It
Yeah.
totally was. Yeah, it was very helpful. But anyway, yeah, but yeah, I mean, this last year and a half for me, for sure, a lot of stuff I've learned. Not just, I mean, clearly with medicine,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
yeah, and then also very easy go. Of
Ye
course.
I'm telling you, that's gonna be one of the last ones to go, but just leave it alone. Don't even look at it, man. Don't even like it's a whole different play, buddy.
Yeah. So yeah, what else to say about that? I mean,
I'm looking for things I could find on from your high school days on the
what?
internet,
Oh
but,
shit.
there's I don't think it goes back that far.
Thank God, man. Thank God.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I was trying to
Yeah.
find
Yeah. It really sucks.
I don't know what number you were, but I know you're in the top 10
Mm,
because
okay.
I was irritated I did not make the top 10. But at the same time, I'll be honest with you. Here's another lesson. I didn't put in nearly as much
Yeah,
effort as Dr. Matt did. I can tell you
it's
that. So
true.
there's no reason I deserved to be
Well,
there, you
well,
know.
honestly, that man, that was a bit of just bullshit. Some of that stuff with like
But
you
you learn
just
how to play the game too.
I
So
did, and
see,
that was honestly like
knowledge.
yeah, yeah. Making the top 10 was not necessarily well, I don't know. I played the game in
Sure, you
certain
have
ways.
to.
Yeah. Meaning just took to certain classes and got the grade that would get you the GPA, and I don't know.
but you have to put the work in. You still have to
I
study.
did.
You have to take classes. You had to learn how to take
Totally.
class, the tests. You
Totally.
had, you know,
Yeah, I worked. Yeah, I did. Totally. Totally. Yeah. 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 For sure. Yeah. And it was, doesn't really mean anything at this point, but it was cool.
bragging rights.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Sounds really cool.
yeah.
Hmm.
I
But
don't know if I'm gonna find anything or not. There's a 1990. There's a South High School page from our class. It
yeah.
shows the right year. Yeah, it is. I don't know what this is though. There's people's names on here I recognize.
Yeah.
Recent
Man.
profile updates. People are updating. Wow, this is of this year.
Hmm.
It's pretty funny.
Crazy.
What in the world? I don't see you on here anymore.
So funny. I mean, all before all the internet, man.
Oh yeah,
Thank God.
oh, yeah,
I mean, all
yeah.
the pictures.
It was
I
before
mean, now
Facebook.
there's before Facebook, before
Mm,
digital cameras where you could just snap stuff
mhm.
and upload it. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it was all.
I mean, we learned how to use cell phones. We learned how to use
That's
Facebook.
true.
We learned how to use Instagram.
Totally.
People don't even realize, like, the things that they have skill sets in, right? I mean, you
I,
learned how to edit
yeah,
video. You learned all these things. You didn't
yeah,
go to
yeah.
school for any of that stuff.
That's a good point. Yeah, I look at and it's interesting because I think like our Gen Z or Gen X, you know, certain things weren't like I don't know. Just look at some of the younger people and like some of the stuff with phones and with computers is like second nature to them. It's like they were born. Like I remember Sage, your son, dealing with your phone when he was like, a year old, and like, yeah. So anyway, like I just,
He was helping Katrina's mom when she got her first iPhone.
right, right,
I'm trying to remember how old he was. Less than 2.
yeah,
And
helping
he
her,
knew how to put a finger on the phone and swipe to look at
yeah,
pictures. No one
yeah,
taught him that. He just
yeah,
by visually watching other people at
watching,
less than
yeah,
2 years old, because I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
and he's just doing these things.
hmm,
Next thing you know, he's showing my
yeah,
father how to set up stuff on his TV,
hmm,
you know?
yeah. And so like, the point of that is just to say that we didn't have any of that. So we did have to learn a lot of this stuff, and it's just as not as second nature,
Mm.
s- even to us. But God, especially like our parents' age. Holy cow!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, we've seen things change, obviously. I think more real estate-wise than anything else. I mean, we were at the forefront of, like, the technology explosion with,
Yeah,
dot-com stuff and, we were still in school then,
yeah.
but we watched those people just create these
Hmm.
incredible things.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, everything changed with cell phones and all that stuff.
Hmm.
But our parents' generation, I think, probably saw even more than that because especially depending on where they grew up, I
Hmm.
mean, the birth of the TV,
Hmm.
like, in
Sure,
everybody's home, and,
sure.
I mean, all the way up to my dad having a smartphone and
Hmm.
checking his email anywhere he can. We're literally so here's a
That's
quick
like
s
my
I
favorite story
dude,
of your
my this is
dad.
the story of my father, and this
I love
so
this story.
so he's super smart guy. I mean, he's great at math. He's a good businessman. He's very stubborn, and that's probably part of why he did this. But he hired this woman many years ago, and God bless her because she is absolutely amazing and very smart herself. But he would be out of town for business all the time on wherever he is, walking a project or whatever, and he's um
Golf course or
golf
whatever.
course
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah,
And this
yeah,
is, this is it's before like smartphones. This is like just flip phones and
yeah,
stuff. And
yeah.
um he'd call his manager and say, I need you to, and sometimes it'd be on the weekends. A lot of times it'd be on the weekends because she wouldn't be in the office. I need you to run in the office and check my email. And at the beginning, she was like, Okay. I just wouldn't tell him I don't need to go into the office to check your email. I'll just open my computer up, log into your email
Log
account,
in, right,
and check
right,
them.
right.
But
Right.
there was a few times after,
So
after the first few
funny.
times where he's like, "Oh, while
Yeah.
you're there, can you grab the file out of whatever?" And she's like,
I'm not
"N
there.
A couple times I think she covered and said, "Sure, I'll grab that," because he didn't need it right away, but he's like, "I need you to open that up and read me whatever, section
Oh,
2.0 of the
yeah.
contract," and she's like, "Oh, shit. What do you mean?" I'm not at the office." "What do you mean you're not at the office? You're checking my email." And she had to
So funny.
explain to him, like, and this is multiple times, explain to him, "I don't have to go into your computer to check your email. I can
Right,
check your email anywhere in the world." And he
right.
just couldn't wrap his brain around
Yeah,
that. It was
yeah.
n But she told me these stories, and it was just blew my mind. I'm like, "Oh my
It's
god." So
mhm.
when she bought him an iPhone, wasn't that long ago, and she asked me if that was a good idea, and I was like, "It's a terrible idea. I think you're gonna actually you're creating more work for yourself because you're gonna be literally he's gonna give you his
It's a
phone and say, "Just
terrible
do it.
idea.
Just do it."
Yeah, yeah.
And she was
Oh, yeah.
thinking, "No, it's gonna open his world up to where I don't have to do as much. He can do more of his own, check his own email, the whole thing," and it ended up working in her
Mhm.
favor, but, yeah, just that whole world for him
Yeah,
didn't make any
yeah,
sense. He came from
yeah.
a small town in Kansas,
Totally.
you
Yeah,
know?
totally. Having to learn all that stuff and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, and I think that's what, the other side of the, educating yourself is that there's just so much information now that
Mhm.
I think it can paralyze people. Like it
Oh,
does
for
for
sure it does.
it does for me. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll be honest, like I'm like, okay, where do I start? All right. Oh man, look at all this.
Mhm.
Where do I go? What do I look at? Who do I yeah, it's just like, oh fuck it. I'm just not gonna do anything. Um, but not always, but it's easy to kind of get in that state. So
Yeah, you get overwhelmed and
yeah.
our response is to run, right?
Hmm.
It's, "Oh, I can't do this," or "I can't deal
Hmm.
with that," and,
Hmm.
I mean, I get that all the time. There's
Hmm.
so many people that are slow it'll take me 5 minutes to teach somebody something, you know?
Hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know if I'm a glutton for punishment or if maybe because I missed out on my, like, school days of just literally skating by, doing the
Hmm.
bare minimum, like, not really caring a whole lot, especially the higher up I went, which was interesting. The higher up you get, the more you should be interested in something.
Hmm.
And I was just, like, all over the map all the time. I don't think anyone really caught my eye, so I just didn't care.
Hmm.
But after school ended for me, it was all I could do to, like, read things and learn things and
Yeah.
what else
Yeah.
can I figure out? And I to this day have been that way. So
Yeah.
for me to, like, have somebody teach me something is great, and it doesn't take that
Hmm.
long to usually to pick up a lot of stuff,
Right.
um, and then
Yeah.
be able to share with other people, but it's just the same
Hmm.
thing as you guys can learn how to do it. I can show you how to change an outlet. It's really not that hard.
Hmm.
And I think that's what got me into kinda doing some of the video stuff is like these videos would be
Totally.
very, very productive for people,
Hmm.
because it's our attention spans are really short, as you know. But at the same time, you can get them at a certain point where they can grasp
Hmm.
concepts, they start
Totally.
building little skills. So
Hmm. Yeah.
that's what you do every day. With your patients, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I
I mean,
mean,
I
you're kind of
think,
teaching them out themselves.
well, yeah, and that's actually, I think one thing that's really important about being a doctor is, the uh, the Latin word for teacher is docere. And so the actual word doctor actually has a teaching component to it.
Mm,
And that's actually one of the principles of naturopathic medicine that is kind of built on. It's like really trying to educate and empower and grow people's ability to learn things about themselves, their health, and able to build that. So um, yeah, I take the docere very, very seriously. I love teaching. I mean, I have a whiteboard in my office, and I'll
mm,
be talking to somebody, and then I'll be like, oh, all right, and I draw stuff, and because it's just the way my brain works, and gets to get it across to people. So
mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's great to be able to connect to people in that way where they really want to learn
Right.
and are just interested, and you have to. I've developed a skill of teaching and hope, try to make it understandable and easy because yeah, it can be complicated and it's tough to
Yeah.
it's tough to know and yeah
There's a
anymore.
knack to it for sure. There's a knack
Yeah,
to it. Sharing knowledge is a gift,
yeah.
like gaining knowledge is certainly a gift and you should never stop like the desire to like want to keep learning things because again, it's just going to help you continue to get better and
Hmm.
grow
Hmm.
and build upon. But there's a skill set in itself and being able to share that knowledge and giving it
Hmm.
back to someone else because a lot of people, I mean,
Yeah,
the example in the sports world all the time is the great players of the world can't go and coach because they have no idea how they've
exactly.
done the things they've done,
Right,
right? They can't
right.
explain it. It's just,
Yeah,
I
well,
just
and
do it.
it's interesting. Like, yeah, sports is an interesting example with that. But I also feel like, you know, well, it's if you can really teach something to somebody in a simple way that they understand it, you really know
And
it.
you understand it. Yep.
And in fact, especially if it's a really complicated thing. I just watched a quick video of Ian Poulter helping got some race car, some Formula One race car driver. And in like 5 minutes, he corrected this guy's swing. It was a most amazing thing, you know? And so you see this guy that not only is a good golfer, but he also knows how to teach this
Right.
golf swing simply with a
Mhm.
few, he taught him a couple of little drills and little things. And like, it was amazing, just to watch
Mhm.
this guy. And his swing wasn't terrible to start with, but it
Right.
was not, you know, it,
He was struggling though.
oh, yeah, it wasn't great, but it was, I'm sure he got by with it, but man,
Mhm.
it was really cool to watch, and he was, like, just cracking up. He's like, "Oh my god." It's like and Ian Poulter's just like, "Yeah, 5 minutes,
Yep.
that's all I needed." But, I think that's really when somebody really understands something and you
Mhm.
know that they have that, um, they're able to distill it in a way that people can so if you're listening to somebody teach something and you're confused,
Yeah.
they may not know what they're
They may not have
talking
a
about,
grasp. Or
as well
or
as
they're not able to focus in on
yeah.
the subject matter itself.
Exactly. Or they're
Yeah.
like Michael Jordan and just can't explain it, just
They don't know what they're doing. Again, they don't
right,
understand, right? They're just like, "I
right.
just turn and shoot.
This is just how it works, I don't
I
know.
just
Yeah,
think about putting it in the basket. I just aim."
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it's an interesting concept for sure, but I
Mhm,
mean, I just the stuff what comes across is like, I don't know how to do that. You do it." Man,
mhm.
man, it just irritates me. Like,
Yeah, that's a big pet peeve of yours, I know.
oh, just well, why? Let's learn it. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
I
have that
know.
skill set, or I don't have that license. Like,
Yeah,
well, let's
yeah,
find a way
yeah,
to go do it. And there's
yeah,
people I've literally in my life recently. And I'm like, why?
yeah,
Well, I don't have
right.
the time. How
Mm,
did I get here? I mean, if
yeah,
I listen, there's a lot of things I say that if I can do it, that
mhm,
person can do it. Trust me. I am not
yeah,
gifted in any way, in any form. There's nothing that I've ever been great at in any level,
mhm, mhm,
but I get drawn into things that I like. And if you pay
mhm,
attention, you can figure it out.
mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean, what I hear and all that is, I think it's kind of what we were talking about a while back around like, taking responsibility, when we're talking about, bringing it to our wealth and health, it is
mhm.
about responsibility and no one's going to do it for you. No one's going
No,
to, you know, no one's going to hold your hand every step of the way. I mean,
no.
hopefully you'll find mentors and people that can guide you and hold your hand while you need it, but the good people will kick you out the door and be like, "Go do it yourself."
Mhm.
And that's always what I've always admired about you, Shane, is just yeah, your ability to see the best in people to do that. And I think that's why it frustrates you so much because people have more potential than they're showing, and it's hard, and I get it. I see
Yeah,
that a lot. I see that a lot, and it is frustrating.
it is
But
frustrating.
but
Yeah,
people
it's a
are.
lazy response.
It is, but people have their own shit, to deal with. So I don't
Mhm.
know. Not excusing it, but yeah. I'm like, man, sometimes you can't. Oof, people aren't that good, man. Don't hold them up to that standard. It's just gonna frustrate you, man.
Yeah. They c they just aren't gonna be what you
Yeah,
want them to be, and
sorry,
that's
man.
frustrating in itself. Because
Yeah,
sometimes, like, I don't understand how you just can't
I know.
do
Oh,
that.
for
That doesn't make
sure,
any sense.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, they may not be ready. There's who knows, right? We all have stuff. I
We
don't
got our
know,
stuff. Yeah.
different things. Yeah, it's like when I don't know. I always think of like the movie Field of Dreams, and at that one point, that guy's like, "When did these baseball players get here?" You know,
Right.
and it's like I feel like that with some people. It's like they just don't see it, and
Yeah.
until they do,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh, whoa, look at this," and it's like, okay, like
Mhm.
as much as he was like, "They're right there," like, and
Yeah.
you know, and he never saw him
Nope. Nope.
until he did.
Until all of a sudden he allowed himself to be there. Yeah.
Right, and so yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's just a matter of patience and allowing people to. But yeah, holding. I think it's good to hold high standards. I'm not saying not to do that, but I
Sure,
just
but be prepared for the
yeah,
frustration that's gonna en
you
ensue
gotta
that, so
be. Yeah, yes. You can't take it too personally, right?
no. No, no. Yeah, you certainly cannot. Certainly
Or
cannot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
XLM, if you're still here, I would actually get some Shiba,
mm,
honestly. I don't know if you don't have XLM, maybe. I still like Ethereum,
mm,
certainly Bitcoin. I mean, crypto is gonna be again, we're learning about this stuff as we go. So there's another thing, like, right? We're all this is brand new to everyone in the last decade. But certainly in the last few years, it's just
in
been
the last like
exploding.
6 months,
And then
even.
with things that are
Holy
proceeding,
cow!
yeah, I mean, everyone and their mother is now asking me about cryptocurrencies.
Hmm.
And I'm still trying to learn all I can about it. But I do like XLM. I'd rather be Sheeb right now, to be
Hmm.
honest with you. It's got a better potential. It's got a better move towards what Dogecoin did do if you got in early.
Come
Um,
on, come on, dollar. Let's
yeah,
go, sheep.
exactly, exactly. I'll take it at 50 cents,
Hell
75
yeah,
cents.
50 cents is fine.
That's I'll be out.
Just start clearing away a few of those zeros out of the
Mhm.
way. Uh-huh.
Mhm. Just keep ticking up the other way. And then, obviously, go learn about all the stuff that's happening in the market. If you don't
Mhm.
know what this term is, you should probably go look it up. And
Yeah.
it's not tinfoil, it's not a conspiracy theory, it's not a wishful well, it's understanding the next big debacle in our economy, in our markets. And people are
Mhm.
poo-pooing it left and right, but the same people that sat in there and held on tight in 2008, listening to all the poo-pooers, including the people like in the rating agencies and the banks and everywhere else, the more you see someone, like I was telling people the other day, the more you see someone try and convince you everything's okay, this works just fine, or they start defending things you haven't even talked about
Mhm.
yet. I mean, imagine a
Mhm.
conversation, all of a sudden some person brings up, but I didn't take the candy. We what? We were
What are
what?
you
We were talking
talking
about the
about?
snow outside.
Right.
Where did that come from?
Right.
Well, I didn't take it. I'm just telling you. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Is there candy missing?
Right.
No, I didn't know, and I didn't take any. Well, hold on, time out. What
Oh.
is going on? And the
Right,
more they do
exactly.
that, the more you go, there is a
Yeah.
problem here.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a giant problem. So you
Totally.
gotta pay and be part of gaining that knowledge and introspectively, telling yourself you can do it is preparing yourself, right? It's
Mhm.
it's developing these skills and being prepared so you're not left
Mhm.
behind and saying being that person
Right.
that's like, oh, there it is again. That's I missed out and it's not fair. And it's my I hear it all the time.
Right.
You choose
Right.
to go that and take that progression or you don't. Right.
Totally. Totally.
So pay attention to
Yeah.
that.
It's some wild stuff is happening. I don't know.
Wild times are ahead of us and just trust me in this. Trust
Mhm.
me. You
Yep.
trust me.
Yeah.
Don't get frustrated. The more you see the other way and the more convincing that happens and the more debauchery that happens, the more we call it like shakeout, and the more they're convincing is going to
Mhm.
try and tell you that's not what's happening, and let's look at this stock price now, and they're destroying it. No, no, no. This is all part of the tactic to convince you
Yeah,
none of this is real. None
exactly.
of it's real. So
Yep. Until it goes. Yep.
until it is real, they're
Yep.
just trying to scare you out of the way.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, have faith.
Yep.
Well, the media is the first thing you should turn off for sure. Yeah, trust me.
Mhm.
More knowledge there than that for sure. Oh man. All right, man. Well, it is. I'm looking at the temperature. It's currently 8 degrees and snowing now.
Brr,
I
brr,
yeah,
brr.
I kept I keep my my heating system pretty low during the day, but I have a
Mhm.
lot of glass in my office. And
Got a little chilly
got a little
today.
chilly today. Got
Yeah.
a little chilly. I went and put my slippers on. I
Uh-huh.
refused to go turn up the furnace. I refused. I'm like, oh, I'll put my beanie on.
Right.
Let's stay
Right.
warm, and then it
Yeah.
kicked back up this evening, I think, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm watching the temperature drop and the snow's blowing harder, and I'm thankful we're getting that,
Yeah. For
but
sure.
once again, thinking of the people that lost their homes are gonna have issues coming up,
Yep.
and you guys know where to reach me, so if you need help, um, just let me know one way or the
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
and everybody else that sees this, just donate what you can to help these people out. You just
Yeah.
imagine literally not being able to go home one night. You leave in the morning to go to work or school or whatever it is, and you can't go back to your house, and
Mhm.
you didn't have any opportunity to grab anything. It's gone.
Right. Yep.
It's gone in hours. So
It's no longer there. Yep.
there's nothing
Amazing.
you can do about it. Yeah,
Mhm.
just think about that. All right,
Yep.
guys.
Yep.
Well, thanks for everybody that stopped in, including the bots. It looks like
Yeah.
we're blowing up the scene now for getting bots in here.
Got
It's pretty
bots in
awesome.
there.
That means we're
With
on the come up.
yeah. Love it.
We're on the come up. All right. I'll leave you
Alrighty.
guys with this and with this, and just keep holding. Just keep holding,
That's
and we'll
right.
talk to you guys soon. Yee yee.
Yep.
Stay true. Go pass your test, dude.
Yeah. Good
Go
luck,
get that
you.
license, man. You got it, and we'll see you on the front lines here pretty soon selling some real estate. Cool. All right, Dr. Matt.
Alrighty.
Good to see
All
you,
right,
bud.
man. Good to
Stay
see you.
warm.
You too. Talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Later.
See ya.